The source material, you take it or leave it. It's a fascinating story. I think more than anything, I imagine any filmmaker would like to get their hands on this material. We're talking about the plagues. We're talking about an enormously potent conflict between two brothers and a movement of 400,000 people across the Middle East. So with all of that, it's just incredible source material to play with.
I mean, talking about authenticity, there's been a surprising reaction, I think, to the casting of the film, particularly in the lead roles. I mean, what do you make of that? Because it's not an unknown phenomenon for Western films to put white actors in leading roles, but for some reason it seems to have provoked a response this time.
I guess the first thing to say is let's kind of wait and see the movie first, I think, because I find that the movie is very diversely cast. Those lead roles are not. I think the answer was given by Ridley last week when he said, this film can't be made the way I want to make it, with actors that aren't of this caliber and of this size and of this potential economically. And then I think there's another, but it's an extremely important conversation that we need to keep having. But I think there's another conversation as well, is to talk about how freaking good is Joel Edgerton as Rhamses. So I'm not closing doors on either side. Christian was fantastic. He's an incredibly serious actor. He loves his work. You never know what he's going to throw at you, which is fantastic because everything's always fresh. And he has a gas when you're working as well. He just always taking the piss and having a good time. So it was a wonderful experience. The three of us, because it was often Christian, Aaron, and myself, just ended up working hard and laughing as much as possible. I think Ridley has an extraordinary ability to make pictures. I know he spends a great deal of time. Everyone knows about his storyboards, everyone knows about his preparations, but when he sits down in front of those monitors, there's just something that happens in which the camera's in the right place because he put it there. He just has an extraordinary visual talent. When I got offered the job, of course, I called the smartest, wisest people in the Jewish community that I knew, and spent time with them talking about the character. I did not know how important Aaron was, and important to the Jewish community as well, as the first rabbi in history. And all of a sudden I kind of went, apart from, my God, I'm making this huge movie. Look at him, there he is.
In the role of Moses, it's Christian Bale!
Right on. Christian's here. I did feel a real responsibility to make sure that what I call a hardened social worker, I think that's how I tried to understand Aaron from today, was somebody who cared for his community and did everything possible that they were fed, educated, and had a roof over their head. And it wasn't until he saw his brother come back that he decides, reluctantly at first, to be a part of his revolution. What's coming up next for me is running around trying to get my film made. I've got an extraordinary script in my hand, so getting on the phones and knocking on doors. And right now I'm doing a fantastic tour of a play in Spain called La Partida, which is Dealer's Choice by Patrick Marber. So as long as they let me work, I'm happy.